Men are just using the most basic psychic magic. But it shocked the talented students present. It really deserves to be known as the duckwail sound of the child prodigy. Professor, even the lowest level of psychic magic. So elegant and gorgeous that can be used. But what they don't know is, the person in front of him is no longer the virtue he used to be, Professor Curayan, but the ultimate boss of this world. And one day, console games became all the rage. The game company where Jinyujin is located. It's a high-profile enterprise. The game he tested. Also a company, all the third-grade games developed. This game is equipped with a high degree of AI. There are knights in it. Magicians, adventurers, and demons. Hunter, nobles and kings. As long as the player likes it, can play any role. As long as the reputation of this game, IP, is preserved, you can make money anywhere. If this game goes down, companies go out of business. So Jinyu Town has been working night shifts for a few months. It's because of the daycare role. This guy has become a game. Every time I kill him, the game gets stuck. D'Aquila is the midterm report of this game. Also a notorious villain. Because of him, this game has given birth to an infinite number of. This time his cause of death was stabbed by his fiancée. To kill him, Jin Zhenyu also used a lot of means. And this is when a woman asks him how he's doing on his test. This woman is Jin Yujin's superior. Also his ex-girlfriend Liu Yana. The two spent 7 years together. At that time, Jinyu Town was very laid back. My girlfriend Liu Yala is a natural workaholic. Because of his ambition, let Jin Yujin be talked about by everyone in the company. The two broke up for this reason. Even so, Jin Yujin has not changed. 6 months after the breakup, he also found a new boyfriend. I can't even hear Jin Yujin. No kidding. Is it going well with your boyfriend? Kim Woo-jin confirmed by his ex-girlfriend. I still feel bad. Let's continue testing after that. Jin Yujin mentioned the role of D'Aquila Yin. Is there a problem? Is it obviously the midterm report? It was so easy to get rid of. The charm of this game is Day Carol will become stronger with the player as the plot progresses. The difficulty of the game is determined by the player's choice. At this time, ex-girlfriend Liu Yola mentioned, you are the archetype of D'Aquila. Jinyu Town, that's why he's so gloomy when he's modeling. And this is a D'Aquilet. The reason why you will be killed at the beginning. Anyway, he has a lot of personality like you. The Golden Universe is very. I care why this game is related to the company's storage network. Liu Yala did not explain this. He changed the topic. Then Jin Yujin found his boss. Liu Yala's ambiguous object. He was lying by the side of the car, waiting for someone. Obviously waiting for Liu Yala. After saying goodbye to my ex-girlfriend, Jinyu Town continues to test. It's too much to have to complain. Set this villain scum as yourself. But D'Aquila was born with 6 traits. Majesty and temperament. Twisted prodigy. Beautiful magic mediocrity. The villain is a combination of a child prodigy and a mediocre. He's called a child prodigy because of his childhood. But he's actually just a mediocre. It's self-esteem, the heart and arrogant character give birth to such a product. Cleanliness becomes a regular habit. Better than noble etiquette. Keen authority. Bluff and ease. Strong mental strength. And all kinds of people who help. How can you be judged as leisurely? He was surrounded by people who hated him. Jin Yujin is really angry. Ready to add some settings to the D'Aquilas. Give him a little more understanding. You can also add some Midas hand to your financial resources. Add some to whatever you order, the naked eye and the flesh. Before I knew it, I added it all. Add too much. When Jin Yujin was about to restore him to his original state, then a voice came from the computer. Jinyu Town received an email from the developer. So ask the other party what's the matter. If there is a problem with Sword Demon, you can change it immediately. Kobe said something I wanted Jin Yujin to see. He asked Jin Yujin to look out the window. The cloudy sky is like a hole. The most important thing is that he's getting closer. Just a boom. A bolt of lightning struck Jin Yujin. He seemed to have come to an unknown place. One person said so. You have to remember, D'Aquila is not such a laid-back person. Even if it seems to be standing still. One day, it will be extraordinary. Because of him now, I've been suppressing my talents. He's just a hateful villain after all. Jin Yujin heard someone calling him girl in his sleep. He viciously asked him when he was going to sleep. Jin Yujin felt like she was in a dream. Although it has been like this for several days. But it didn't feel real. When are you going to run away from that woman? Don't discredit the family. The information is here. You don't want to be fired from that professor's job. Let's get started. After Jin Yujin saw the light. It's been a week since I came here. What do you think here? They are all self-made game worlds. He knows that he is in this world. No matter which world line it is, it has to die. Because he became the villain Dequili. After several days, Jinyu Town just accepted the fact of crossing. It may have been caused by being struck by lightning. Dequirine, it is a midterm treasure that cannot be avoided in the game. It's one that killed many characters. Murderer of parents and lovers. It is the root of all evil and the enemy of all. The biggest problem, I still don't know where the plot is going. And his magic is decreasing for no reason. All staff including Jinwu Town tested this game thousands of times. The number of times Dequili survives is only once. Midterm boss, Day Carol, it was made to be killed. Day Carol, check the information left by the girl just now. It has Dequiri written on it. Basic understanding of magic. Uriel Payne is a German. Curayan's half-sister. He is also the one who threw the information to Decurayan before. A person who takes the place of the head of the Dequirian Traveller. It has a very bad relationship with Dequilian, especially the woman Uriel was talking about. Probably Dequiline's fiancé. He should be with the body. Master, what happened to Dequilian? Uriel reminded him that he had to work today. Dequiline decided to go. A system panel also appeared in front of him. The primary goal becomes a necessary presence in the game. Straight mission university lecture. After waking up, he can always see the text in the system panel. Dequiline decided to complete the side mission. This body has an inherent quality, understanding. It can be activated as long as it consumes magic power. This is Jinwu Jin becoming Dequili Yin. The ability to give his family. This is a feature that will only appear later in the game. Decurayan naturally took out his clothes and changed into them. It's as if he started out as a Dequili suit. Although it is not what I like. It still feels elegant and comfortable to wear. This is also influenced by the characteristics of the Dequilis. Majesty and temperament as well as aesthetics and perception. It seems that Decurayan is reminding Jin Yujin at any time. This is his body. It is also impossible to make words that violate the etiquette of the Dequilis. Acted to obtain information. Dequiline had to give a lecture at the university. Although this is the first time attending a speech. Decui, Lei Yin had a natural feeling in her heart. After all, his current status is a noble. The gold in my previous life was the exact opposite. That's what my ex-girlfriend said when she broke up. Lazy and bad guy. That's who you really are? So don't let your guard down at any time. Jinyu Town in the previous life, I've never been in such an expensive car. When I think of the car, I think of the yellow hair in my previous life, in the car as a young man. As soon as Dequilis asked who it was, he proved. The young man hands over a document. Dequiline guesses he is an assistant or secretary. I didn't know until later. This man has been under Dequilis for 3 years. This document is filled with the content of the speech. The actual Dequili sound is nothing but arrogance. No talent. Impossible to be ready to speak. Dequiril Award praise each other. But find it hard to say. In the end, I still held on and said hard work. The driver didn't expect the professor to praise people. Dequilis can't figure it out either. What's wrong with this body? Just praise someone? I feel an uncomfortable churning in my stomach. They made it to Imperial College. That's where Dequilis works. And very quickly, Dequiline arrived at the venue. You heard about it. Dequiline was a child prodigy since he was a child. Dequiline begins to introduce himself. Then the speech began. Some female students thought he was too handsome. There is a student in the audience who knows. Dequilis is scum. The murderer of his own father. 3 years ago, his father joined the military. The reason is that the papers that have been researched have been robbed. Become a waste. The father who suffered too much chose to discuss himself. The person who stole the paper, known by many as the genius of mathematics. That is, after the death of Dequiline's father. He lost everything, his house and his land were sold. He also became an orphan. So he made up his mind. Let Dequili pay with blood. After some effort, got into Dequy Lane, Imperial Royal University. Other students may not know, but he knew that the mathematical analysis result was the father. Dequirine destroys a family. I can still stand here as if nothing happened, although I can't wait to expose his lies and kill him. But now you have to be patient. This is also for the perfect revenge. And then Dequirine began to lecture. Magic in this world has 3 attributes and 9 series. It also talks about the roots of magic and the components of magic. I didn't expect lectures to be so easy. This is Dequirine's first theory class. He understood the textbook perfectly. Composition, the strong temperament characteristics attract everyone's attention. Superiority makes people pay attention and care about themselves. Day Carroll, maybe it really has good educator characteristics. Although effort is important, but if we focus, it would be better to choose. This sentence is actually very suitable for Dequaly himself, because Dequaly doesn't have great talent. His magic power is only 3,000. Generally, excellent characters have 30,000 initial magic power. The class ended easily. The last part of the Dequaly's is really unspeakable. If it is the original body, Dequaly's definitely won't say. Dequirine asked the students, "Anybody have a question?" We meet face to face. No one dares to ask questions. If there are no questions, the class can be dismissed. A student proposed. Last night, someone found a suspicious spell in the magic dormitory. He was called the genius Professor Dequaly. Can you answer it? Day Carroll, ask if the student is an Imperial Royal. University students, if so, identify yourself before asking a question. A guy who can't even be polite doesn't deserve to ask questions. In fact, Dequirine has no way. Just lectured. Using understanding has consumed a lot of magic. If you want to pass unknown numbers, I don't know how much magic it will cost. The students all laughed at the student who asked the question. I want to draw attention to failure. The student did not give up. Asked Dequaly again. The professor should be able to see what magic that is. After saying that, he released the warlock directly to Dequirine. Demand Dequirine. Solve for him the constitution of this warlock. Dequirine only glanced at the warlock. Mana diminishes rapidly. The students pressed Dequirine to explain what magic was made of. Or give me a clue. Dequirine explained that no clues were needed at all. This is enchantment magic. Someone wants to use bewilderment enchantment magic. Lock you up. The end of the first class of Dequalian. The system prompts to complete the side mission. Store currency plus 0.5. The school cafeteria after this. The student had planned to use an unknown master's degree. The ability to expose Dequaly. To panic to give a name. It was rude to be detained and embarrassed on the spot. Hear Dequaly speak bewitching magic. He judged that Dequaly must have panicked. Because bewitching magic requires a medium. You can't do it without a medium. He just put the unknown warlock from the dormitory brought it here. Still cursing Dequaly for being a fool. Someone told him, the magic of the dormitory door has been unlocked. That's the condition for building enchantment magic. People are afraid to ask the professor questions. You are so brave. He couldn't believe it. Dequaly actually guessed it right. It was enchantment magic. Didn't take him apart and make him famous. He decided to take a few more lessons in Dequaly. Be sure to debunk the Dequaly. Something big almost happened just now. Dequirine's understanding. It starts automatically. It's a magic array entangled at will. In an instant, most of the magic was emptied. Although I can see the real existence of that magic. Now, even if the magic is doubled, can't see through the principle of the warlock? Fortunately, it got through. Then a woman stopped Dequaly. White hair with transparent eyeballs. Jin Yujin has seen it many times in front of the computer. He made Dequaly sound unmarried. Wife travel von die of Halden. The future journey will be the pinnacle of chivalry. The reason he came to Degalane. Yes, Dequaly broke his appointment with him a week ago. Through, of course, Jinyu Town who came here didn't know what the agreement was. Simply tell the other party that they can't remember. Ready to leave. The traveller asks if Dequaly wants to run away again. Be the same again. Dequaly also knew. This woman is not going to let herself go easily. I have to explain that I was sick during this time. Can you tell me what was agreed before? The original owner of the body, de Quale, promised to travel. Confess to everyone everything you've done before. Travel also promises that even if the world is destroyed, I will also be by de Curain's side. But de Curain forgot about it. Travel and tell de Curain you can go. De Quile thought about it. He said politely, released pay, and left immediately. There's only one angry traveller left here. De Quile and Travels are a political marriage. An up-and-coming genius magician. And infinite possibilities of genius discrimination. If the two combine, whether it's blood or politics, it's all mutually beneficial. To increase the power of the two families. No one is against this marriage. Yuri knew it was for the family. Subsequently, de Quere was not able to expose this incident. Because after something, his remarkable work was completely undone. Klein and the Falholden families also avoided the matter. Because they don't want to be someone else's laugh. Yuri can tolerate a marriage without love. But deception cannot be tolerated. That's his belief as discrimination. So Travel persuade de Quillane to promise to tell the truth. And de Quillane said yes. But in the end, he broke the agreement. Imperial Royal University is a tour. The top university in the drama. This is similar to modern Kimchi country. If not for this situation, just stay here. Then a figure rushed over. De Quirine also noticed. An elbow knocks it down. That's it. It turned out to be the assistant who was sitting in the car before. He said there was nothing to ask the professor. De Quirine thought it was an enemy sneak attack. Ask if this person's name is Zoro. The boy explained that his name was Alan. After that, they went back to De Quilly's office. Alan handed over this year. Newcomer Magic Sponsorship Directory. The Academy is like the Research Institute of Modern Society. To train new magicians. Sponsor new magicians every year. The list is shining gold. This is a characteristic of the Daycarol sound. Super rich. Anything that can be anticipated to make money. Intuition and magic can be seen with the naked eye. That is to say, the people on this list will make money in the future. The most famous one is still named Evelyn. Lunar student. Game developers once said. De Quirine killed his father. De Quirine found out. No one sponsored Evelyn's magic research. Alan explains that everyone is watching. De Quirine knows. Everyone is looking at his face. Evelyn taught herself and got into college. He is a talented child. Because Evelyn is the enemy of De Quilly. If you follow the original plot, he ended up like De Quilly's. The fate of the villain, the whole world longs for you to die. De Quirine in the game will be killed in countless ways. Died by an arrow through the heart. Died by inserting a magic staff. Eat poison and die. And being killed by an explosion. If you want to survive, you have to make a change. Choose the original De Quilly's. Will not choose the direction. De Quilline asked Alan to borrow some books. De Quillian who wants to live. Requires a lot of money. Some death variables can be changed with money. The other option is to invest in novice magicians. That's still not enough. This world, there are a lot of people who hate De Quilly's. They could kill themselves at any moment. Want to survive? De Quilline must find a real job. That's the power of oneself. The best way to survive here is to become stronger. But the ability to lose thunder sound is very ordinary. If you are not well prepared, can't survive at all. Fortunately, past lives have added character to themselves. Loss of thunder sound, although it doesn't really have for properties. But it can control the fire reverse oil. There is also a talent for operation. After combining the fire reverse oil, it can also be strengthened with a hand of Midas. Can consume the user's magic enhancement potential. That is to say, De Quilly's can manipulate metal by so as to achieve gas pre-detection. To be direct is to use mental power to manipulate metal. To put these theories into practice, you need to learn to control. De Quillian is ready to try it. He put his hand on the book. Start working magic. Write thoughts and warlocks to the brain. At first, I could barely handle it. He levitated a pen. The first time I used levitation magic, it was successful. Now, basic psychic magic can be used without a warlock. But after learning advanced telekinetic magic, it can't reach the state that De Quillian wants. When he was wondering what to do, I thought that if the magic circle was engraved on the whole body, what would happen in this world? The bigger the magic circle, the stronger it is. Understanding the body with understanding. Then engrave the magic circle into the whole body. Enhance mental motivation. The body may not be able to handle it, but this body has Iron Man properties. Although there are only 800 magic points now, Dequirine decided to give it a try anyway. A wave of pain hits. The bones in my body seem to be torn apart. Nothing can compare to this pain. But Dequirine didn't waver. This is the quality of aristocratic temperament. A moment later, the magic of Dequirine has been reduced to 1. A sense of collapse came. Failed due to lack of magic. The only result, it's a magic circle engraved on the shoulder. At this speed, about 2 weeks, the whole body can be engraved with magic. The first month after the Dequirine speech. The first day of class is a self-study class. Dequirine left the plaque. Let's get students to work with these elements. Everybody's still trying to figure out where the professor is. Evelyn felt that Dequirine was really irresponsible. That was the first day of class. Then a figure bumped into Evelyn. When he looked up and asked who the other party was. But he seems to know this woman. This is Sylvia Yosonfinalade. Evelyn wanted to say something, but the other party doesn't seem to know him. If you read it correctly, that person just now should be from the Allied family. 10 years ago, the Allied family surrounded his house with soldiers. And he doesn't even remember himself. Evelyn gets more and more angry when she thinks about this. At this time, he constructed it with the earth element. The curriculum building was taken up. He also noticed that it was Luo from a certain direction. Lee has no doubt that Sylvia did it. Immediately asked the other party what they are doing. Why did you take away your own elements? Sylvia completely ignored Evelyn. This made Evelyn even more angry. Immediately ask each other why they pretend not to know me. When you terrorized my family. Don't let me use magic. You cannot know me. Sylvia says she doesn't know Evelyn. But knowing your dad, the arrogant and inactive noble, he died, and the enraged Evelyn couldn't take it anymore. The students exclaimed, "Look, Evelyn has already accumulated some magic over there." Sylvia looked at a loss. Evelyn is going to fight Sylvia. The whole person rushed directly over. Sylvia also used defensive magic. Just a boom. After a cloud of smoke, Evelyn grabbed Sylvia by the hair. Ask him if he dares to say it again. Pretty soon, he also noticed something wrong next to him. A black light appeared before everyone's eyes. The students exclaimed what it was. Evelyn guesses it's a magic gap, where Sylvia just fought. This thing appeared. This gap. It will absorb the surrounding magic indiscriminately. It explodes. The most important thing is after the explosion, there will also be metal fragments flying out. If you let him explode, everyone has to die here. The gap is about to explode. Evelyn with her eyes closed, still exercising magic resistance. I found that the surroundings had become quiet. It turned out to be Professor Dequirine. The debris that erupted also stopped. These fragments are easily resolved by Dequirine. The students were amazed. Professor Dequirine's magic. Because they are students of magic. More surprising, I've never seen such dazzling operation magic. Soon the pieces were processed by Dequirine. Dequirine announces today's guest suspension. The person who caused the disturbance stayed behind. Can anyone else go? Evelyn knew it was over this time. The interrogation that followed. It's Dequirine sitting here. The assistant professor and the elf professor are here. Just praise Dequirine as a good example. President Adlin also welcomed the arrival of the two professors. Everyone has questions. Who the hell messed with the allied lady? It is said that she is a cheap girl with no name and no surname. Something bad almost happened. Fortunately, Professor Dequirine solved the problem. Dequirine knows. These people are old foxes watching people eat dishes. The powerful Allied family. And Evelyn of the fallen nobles. Which side to help? Don't even think about it. Drain decided to change the outcome of the punishment. Because Evelyn emits a red airflow. This is what only Dequirine can see. The fate of the villain. The whole world awaits his death. Trials that don't kill will only make people stronger and stronger. If you can't change Evelyn's death, then he is not far from death. The college began too. Sylvia and Evelyn go through the grades. The professor asked the two why they were fighting. Evelyn said she couldn't say. Because someone might be looking at him. Sylvia: I deliberately irritated myself with my father's death. Evelyn didn't want to say this in front of her enemies. The professor urged Evelyn to speak quickly. To see the identity gap between you and Sylvia. Seeing Evelyn still refuses to speak. Let Sylvia say again. He said he was careless in class. Ruined Evelyn's work. Just quarreled. Obviously everyone is on Sylvia's side. Because Evelyn is a fallen aristocrat. He even offered to let Evelyn quit. Learning this kind of time to hear this accusation. Evelyn hasn't been able to make any excuses yet. No one can stand up for themselves. It's all the fault of de Quilly's. The principal proposed that since everyone agreed. And finally, Professor de Quilline. I, de Quilline, as a professor, on behalf of the college's grades committee. Let me ask you a question. When Evelyn thought it was over, do you think you are at fault in this? Sylvia. Hearing this, Sylvia is confused. De Quilline asks again. Do you think you are innocent of this matter? No one can figure out what this is about. And the professor asked what that meant. A shame thunder sound did not explain. Sylvia, you had the power to stop this. But you didn't. Why is that? Is that all you're capable of? Sylvia apologized on the spot. Because I hoped the Evelyn at that time make bigger mistakes. So didn't stop. Evelyn can't figure it out. De Quilline is not questioning himself. They question Sylvia. The professor suggested that it was not the defense's fault. It's the attacker's fault. It was me, de Quilline, who arranged this class. Is the professor going to blame me too? Evelyn couldn't believe Dequi. Lei Yin has to say good things about herself. Why should I defend myself? And that's when Adlin, the headmaster, made a decision. Kids grow up fighting. So I won't punish them this time. Evelyn is ready to quit school. The de Quillys he knew would definitely drop out. I really can't figure out what's going on. When leaving, auxiliary science professor is still flattering de Quillys. As expected of Professor de Quillay, see things differently. And that's when Evelyn stops de Quillette. He offered to confirm one thing with de Quilline. He thinks the other party remembers the surname Luna. I really want to ask about my father's death. If you let the de Quai sound up. That thing, maybe it will change the punishment result of the grade committee. Even so, Evelyn still wants to find out. If you have to lose Lei Yin and forget your father's words, you may feel more grief. Before he could speak, the man said, so you don't need to ask me. Don't waste your future on the past. Through this, Evelyn confirmed that de Quilline knew about his father. Because you know, you will speak for yourself. He thought it was de Quilline's death to his father. Feel guilty. I helped out of sympathy just now. As long as he doesn't forget it, that's enough. At least it's enough for now. The system prompts to overcome the fate of death courtesy +2. Soon the other side. Alaid's patriarch, Giltwin, is still comforting. Sylvia, don't worry about Evelyn's children. Although he has good talents. But the best opportunity has been missed. The entrance exam 10 years ago, the day of the physical fitness check. Sylvia meets Evelyn for the first time. Both have been detected as possessing great demons. Mudge's talent. Their little place. Two people appeared at the same time. It's the pinnacle of magic. Eternal level. An existence that even the Emperor dare not provoke. Those who have reached this level will be called the Great Magician. Contemporaneous, there are only 3 people who can be called Great Magicians. This is the rule of the wizarding world. The first aboard the Great Wizard was Demarca. The second one is possible, is a trustee of the Royal Martyr College. Long Adlin. The last one may be the deed daughter of the Allied family. Sylvia. And Evelyn of the Pang family. So 10 years ago, the Allied family found a random reason. Surrounded by Lunar family demands, Evelyn gives up into the snow. This is all to make Sylvia becomes the Great Magician. He thinks becoming a Great Magician is also your destiny. Evelyn said last time, are you afraid that I will catch up with you? This sentence still affected Sylvia. Father Giltwin. Let him stop thinking about scolding the child. Watch out for de Quillys. He's not to be trifled with. They used to be called child prodigies. Sylvia thinks. Professor de Quilleen. I've seen through the trap I dug. That's when he stopped Evelyn's magic. Sylvia set the trap magic at first. That means right. Evelyn's magic produces explosive magic. The bigger it gets, the more severe the punishment for Evelyn. But de Quilleen saw through it all. Even in advance, confirmed that there is no observed magic nearby. De Quilleen didn't expose himself at that time. They forced them to compromise. Sylvia can't imagine. What kind of person is de Quilleen? A few days later, at the bottom of de Quilleen's mansion, de Quilleen is ready to take the next step. The corrections committee is helping Evelyn. Is the right choice? Reduced mortality variables. We got money. What I never expected was, the person who asked the question in the first open class was Evelyn. At that time, he should be hostile to de Quilleen. Because of this, Sylvia probably also developed hatred. De Quilleen because he completed the side mission. Getting ready to participate in the social New Year's painting. 5 currencies are required to open the App Store. By the way, check the faces of social celebrities. The people here are all high-ranking nobles. There are many familiar names. Even see past lives. As a character created by Jin Woo Jin, Iklam. I was lucky to be at the party. A nobleman greets de Quilleen. Hear the name of Professor de Quilleen. And everybody gathered around. Lucky to be at the party. This sentence should be cancelled. De Quilleen heard an name named Ganesha. Ganesha was an important person. It would be best if you could make a good relationship in advance. I looked around and couldn't find him. A woman with red hair is looking at de Quilleen. Because he is the adventurer Ganesha. The person who ranked 5th in combat effectiveness at the beginning of the game. De Quilleen is still searching for where Ganesha is. But soon he found it. De Quilleen ready past tense. And somebody stopped him. This man became royalty. Exclusive sorcerers Ikram. Meeting is a courtesy. I also asked de Quilleen about his recent research and successful capture. Although I've heard some bad rumors recently. They're all saying that the professor's 3 years of research has made no progress. Some even doubted the professor's ability. I have to lose thunder sound to understand. The other party is laughing at himself. This guy and de Quilleen were college classmates. After being snatched away by de Quilleen as the chief professor, Extreme became the nemesis. Such provocative words. It works on the original de Quilleen. But it has no effect on Jinyu Town at all. Trapped by Helm for a while. Cane Gap is gone. Hatefully Helm. Still talking endlessly. De Quilleen approached him. Better get away. After saying this junk, he left. We have to find him quickly. Otherwise the plan will be ruined. After getting rid of a Helm, he was entangled by a bunch of people. I don't have time to find the card. Went outside to the dance to take a breath and found him. Carnegie seems to know that de Quilleen is looking for him. Jinyu Town guesses that Connexia and de Quilleen know each other. De Quilleen said he was lost. But it was still exposed by the card. This is looking for yourself. Carnegie apologized to de Quilleen. The task at that time was really impossible. The deposit and liquidated damages will find a way to pay you back. Can you let yourself go? Thanks to Thunder Sound, I understand. They had a business relationship. Failed to find talented children according to your requirements. To be precise, he didn't bring it. I can't give it to you because I have feelings for that child. De Quilleen thought it was a big deal. The original de Quilleen is going to do the same thing again. Talented children make up for their own shortcomings. Caney also asked about de Quilleen. When will you live this life? De Quilleen doesn't know when it will be. Jinyu Town crossing before becoming de Calais Yin. De Quilleen himself destroyed. The trust of those around him. Let countless people hurt for him. But it's different now. De Quilleen told Ken. Now I plan to change my lifestyle. Kane thought de Quilleen was going to send someone to kill him. Jinyu Town as a developer. I know the card is in the game. One of the best. Wouldn't it be courting death to kill him? The original de Quilleen may not be known. Ganesha, a master who can kill with just one hair. His characteristics are that Wanyu returns to the sect and King Kong is not bad because Jinyu Town passed into the body of de Quilleen. So de Quilleen didn't send. Killing Ganesha. If he had done it, he would have died long ago. Ganesha thought de Quirine had taken the wrong medicine. De Quirine came here for what he wanted. So I told Ganesha not to think about it. I'm leaving. Ganesha is still worried about the de Quirines. Kill him now. De Quirine says that's unbecoming. Leaving a day's Carnegie ring. The original owner of the body's de Quillat sound, forced through family ties. Adventure plus association press Carnegie. Maybe there really is a death variable. The system prompts to complete the death variable. Avoidance courtesy +1. It was overcome before. Now it's avoidance. That is to say, the death variable of the conversation avoidance just now. If you don't pay attention, you will die. The other side of the party. Yuli's relative, Ray, is complaining about Yuli. Why does Lee keep sitting here? He asked again how he was doing with Professor de Quirine. There's been a lot of rumors about you and him lately. Yuri says the relationship is bad. Brady said he was too loud. At this point, de Quirline's voice is done. Just came downstairs. He left without taking a second look at the tour. You can't figure it out. Social. Professor de Quirine of the banquet. Why did you leave so soon? You don't even look at your fiancé. The rumor that he has a bad relationship with his fiancée is true. Due to the fact that de Quirine left here quickly. The social world thought it was de Quille's and unmarried. Caused by bad wife relationship. Of course, Jin Yujin knew nothing about this. The system prompts to complete the side mission New Year's Flower. Courtesy +0.5. 2 weeks passed after participating in the New Year's Flower. De Kui, Ray's building muscle and face power every day. I don't have enough physical strength to exercise. A few days ago, de Quirine nearly bled to death due to frantic experiments. If it were an ordinary magician, it might be cold. Fortunately, it has the characteristics of Iron Man to barely bear it. A few days ago, de Quir audio after meeting Ganesha. Become stronger. Want to strengthen metal handling ability? Added the original engraved thought power. Phi control. Also ready to put. The magic core is transplanted to the power of thought. This will skip the time to learn magic. Get strong fast. It was a dangerous experiment. De Quirine discovered. After the magic experiment is too heavy on the body. A thought crossed my mind. That's exercise. It will be working hours soon. De Quirine office of the chief professor. Received an official letter from Marta today. The issuer is Professor Marta's qualifications committee. Professor de Quirine. To confirm the level of progress of your ongoing research. A hearing will be held in 6 months. Please have the relevant materials ready before then. To hold a monitoring hearing. Jin Yujin guessed that before he put it into this body. The research on de Quirats has stalled. It's not going well. De Quirine in the game has always been a professor. Prerequisites for the task. Possibly having the status of a professor. If you lose this title, maybe directly, lost track back to the real world. So de Quirine goes to the lab. Check the situation. I hope there's something in the lab. But the lab was a mess. It should be that de Quirine doesn't come to the research room often. That's why it's so messy. There is also a strange garbage dump on the ground. Seems to be hiding something. Although I don't know who did it. But this method should. You can stop de Quirine from coming to check. This time, de Quirine is glad he can read and operate. After looking at the trash heap, I found a notebook. Some people don't want to be robbed of their research results. Make it all a password. It's all useless. De Kui, Rain unleashed characteristic understanding, this note. It's a dazzling golden yellow. Should be a great study. After using the super rich and the naked eye. So dazzling. But this research is incomplete. A lot of places were torn off. There are also many vacancies, and that part of the theory is all wrong. Even so, this study can also make the super rich phase respond. The photo above is of Evelyn Decay as a child. Rain, guess this is the result of Evelyn's dad's research. Hidden desperately for this not to be discovered. The wizard of the lunar family. The resentment against de Quirine. And Evelyn. Because de Quirine lived a miserable life. De Quire applies his understanding to complete this paper. We'll add his name as a co-author. After all, he also needs to show results. Cafes in Magic Tower University. A group of civilian students gathered here. led by girls raised as civilians. You have to stick together. Ask Evelyn what she thinks. But Evelyn knew she was of noble birth. Although the house and land are gone, the girl asked Evelyn to participate. After all, he fought Sylvia. They want to create societies, but you need to find a faculty advisor. The biggest problem now is that I can't find a supervisor. Several professors were proposed, but they seem to treat civilians differently. One of the students brought up Professor d'Aquiles. Evelyn is still trying to figure out how to eat cake. This is the girl led by Evelyn. You go and ask Professor de Curayen. Evelyn was crazy. Everyone thought he was fair, whether nobles or commoners. Fortunately, Professor Liang Ying doesn't take it seriously. Thanks to that professor, you didn't get punished. You were probably taken by the professor. Evelyn knew the other side of d'Aquiles. Also afraid of each other. I don't want to face each other again. Evelyn just ran away without listening to them. He thought it would be counterproductive if he went. At this moment, the girl seemed to find a person suddenly stunned. Evelyn thought, what was going on? It turned out to be Professor de Curayen. Julia hurried to hide behind. Cheers for Evelyn. De Curayen left without a word. Evelyn gritted her teeth. Or to de Curayen. Application for founding a club. Because other professors ignore. Poor students will hire you. De Curayen took the application. I signed my name without looking at it. I also asked Evelyn to wait for the details. Delivered to the office. Evelyn didn't expect. De Curayen signed his name so easily. He just couldn't figure out what was going on. I'm ashamed, because why should you be so kind to yourself? Evelyn guesses it might be guilt. Or overflowing with compassion. If you really regret it, the evil done should be made public. During class, Julia noticed Evelyn's strange appearance and let Evelyn not pay attention to the words of those nobles. It turned out to be the aristocracy led by Sylvia, speaking ill of Evelyn. Since the last incident, Evelyn has become an aristocratic skill. Of course, Evelyn doesn't care about these things. It's more important to listen to the class now. Loss of thunder sound. Start teaching everyone how to use basic magic. Completely different from his usual class. They even used fire magic arrays in class. Demonstrate. Explain the magic circuit carefully to the students. This is not Evelyn's illusion. The original d'Aquiles classroom was nothing more than praise. Own professorship. Now it has regained the splendor of magic. This creative magic gets students excited. Even Sylvia was attracted to his courses. d'Aquiles has created another magic circle. If you add a stroke between the two magic circles, what will happen? The magic circle turns purple. I flow naturally like water. Sylvia can't believe this. d'Aquiles theorized his handouts this way. A person commonly referred to as a genius magician. It's all direct use of magic. To them, a theory is just a framework. If all magicians were stuck in theory, that magic will also be fixed in the frame. Overlearning theory. You won't have much time to learn magic. Too much theory makes it hard to do. That's the paradox of magic. A magician who can eventually become an elite. Intuition is excellent. All elites can't explain their intuition. Those who are suspected of being professors, to be able to do this, it's incredible. Evelyn is also listening to this kind of class for the first time. After returning to the dormitory, and the door was covered with curses. There is also a sponsorship certificate outside the door. He didn't think anyone would dare to sponsor it. Simultaneously dubbed by d'Aquiles, and Elade are eyeing himself. Evelyn, and ready to take this fake sponsorship certificate. Go to the college to report. Some people fetch certificates to get scholarships. He came to the MATA administration office to confirm. I just found out that this sponsorship is real. The sudden arrival of good things made Evelyn smile. I still think it's a dream. Even afraid of being discovered by others, own a huge fortune. Packing up for the dorm room and ready to run away. I also guessed that the clerk just now. Do you want your own money? I got excited and accidentally hit my head. It turns out that there are still people who know their talents. The d'Aquiles house shortly thereafter. My sister Yuri is struggling. Because d'Aquiles went to Schatzen again. Sells auction house. Last time, de Curayen spent money on things. Lost 10 million. Decurayan came to the auction house for an important reason. The magic he studies requires metal to compensate. The materials usually prepared are only expedient measures. There happened to be a Dequilet on the auction floor today. What you need? Soon he found a familiar figure here. His fiancé Yuri is also here. When Yuri met, he glared at Dequilian. Ask how Dequilian is doing. He also heard that Dequiles had taken to students. Sent to the achievement committee. So what? Yuli believes that day Carol ruined the future of the rookie magician. What you have done will one day be punished. This is my final piece of advice to you. Dequilian knows. This should be Yuli declaring to himself. It was also decided. I want to cut off my relationship with Decurayan. Of course, that's exactly what Dequiles had in mind. No matter how beautiful Yuli is. Even if Jinyu Town never gets married. I won't marry someone I don't like. Yuli is around, including him. It has a high mortality rate. If you don't pay attention, you will die at the wedding. What Jerai knew? Yuli shouldn't be here. So he guessed. Yuli came because he wanted to say these words to himself. Frightened and worried, a clever person hurried forward to explain. Here's what you want. I also want to see if there is anything suitable here. Decurayan is so cute to feel angry and worried. This is also the first time I've seen him like this. Jinyu Town reacted immediately. What's going on here? Could be Decurayan? I like this woman's feelings. Transferred to himself. Although I've been on guard, this kind of thing still happened. But there is no heartbeat when I see whirring. It may also be that I misspent on the radio. The auction begins. The first item at auction is a vase. The vase in Decurayan's eyes glowed gold. No doubt that is the light of the super rich. The host announces the start of bidding. Someone came out with 1.5,777,000. Decurayan bought it directly to 0.50 million. So price. The characteristics of the super rich have not been extinguished. It means he has a high value. And Decurayan does this. I bought the ring. I took another picture of the scissors. I also bought the necklace. Everyone was surprised. Could it be that this number 777 is Professor Decurayan? Mark Lee thinks 777 is just a bluff. Lack of humility and frugality. He only needs to buy a winter fire when he comes here. And the next thing to be auctioned off. It's a winter fire. Snowflake stone without a doubt. Fortunately, the eagle is also eyeing him. Snowflake is an important precious metal in this world. Mainly used to make cold weapons such as swords. As the material for the sword, the only thing more expensive than him is dragon skin. I have to lose Ying just to use him. Yuri needs him too. Directly raised the price to 30 million. Yuri thought it was a hit. Then no, 777 bid 31 million. Yuri heard number 777 many times today. I can't figure out who this person is. Why fight with yourself? Soon he discovered that number 777 was a Dequilet. Uni mark up. Duckwhale sounds will also be added at the same time. People thought Decurayan is going to buy it and give it to his fiancée. Someone also persuaded Dequilian. Gift giving is more sincere now. Dequilet also found out. The one who bid with himself is Yuli. So I was very worried when I robbed Yuri Snowflake. Will the other party hold a grudge? This is a treasure that only appears once every 3 years. Although a bit risky. But there is no way. Dequiles is bound to take the snowflake stone away. Finally, Dequilian took the snowflake stone for 42 million. Everyone thought it was a close auction. Obviously, a gift for my fiancé. Why is the momentum so strong? Yuli thought he was going to repeat what happened a year ago. This is obviously not what he wants. Engaged a year ago. Decurayan bought a lot of gems for the traveller. Decurayan showed a pair of. If you want gems, you should come to me. Yuri just thought he was too arrogant. Even made himself feel humiliated. These are not what Yuri wants. You should know what you want. So Yuri at that time broke the engagement ceremony. And this is still going on. Everybody knows it. Decurayan auctions are for unmarried people. The wife's marriage conditions are also. Knights of the Klein family. All kinds of rumors have tarnished Yuri's faith. Guess who spread this rumor? No matter how hard you try, you can't fall in love with Decurayan. Yuli, I thought Dequi Lane was coming over again to show the results. Do you also want snowflakes? Yuri thinks the other party is trying to fool himself. Dequi Lane apologized to him. Yuri thought he heard it wrong. Dequi Lane left after speaking. A friend of Yuri. Dequi Lane can't possibly apologize. As soon as Yuli came out of the auction room, someone was waiting for him. And his sister, Yosef, called into the car. Day Carol. I thought Yuri would be angry when he was robbed of a snowflake. But there is no death variable in him. Can think, how much rubbish is it like the Dequilis he killed? Returned home to find the maids dead. It was my sister Uriel who came. Uriel interrogates Dequerel. How can the money from the acquisition of the mine be used in that kind of place? Dequiline didn't expect it either. So much money in his personal account turned out to be useful. Hurry up and tell my sister Uriel not to worry. You can earn money by buying things. Yuri yelled, are you treating me like a trash can? Do you want me to keep helping you with the trash? The funds in the territory are not sufficient. You still have to waste it like this. How can there be a bastard like you in this world? Dequiline discovers that the fate of the villain is unfolding. The red breath of death emits a yellow light. The super-rich are here. If it can't be quelled, it will become a death variable. It's a huge source of funding. It's a loss to know the way to solve this. Uriel gushed. I'm going to suffer again because of you. Never been in love in my life. Didn't go to college? It's all your fault. After my parents passed away, I thought about how to spend my money every day. How can you exchange 150 million in one day? Dequille said to let you be the head of the house. Let Uriel make you the head of Arkline's house. Uriel looked incredulous. I thought it was a lie. Dequirine says that if it's unfortunate, can make a covenant. If you don't follow it, you will die. Uriel thinks Dequilles is out of his mind. He blushed and said he would die if he changed his tune. After that, Uriel tried to deal with Dequirine. Funds left behind. Vacancy left. The system prompts the customer service to add to the accuracy of the death variable. Anyway, at a loss. The position of the owner doesn't matter at all. One by one. Death variable. I don't know when I'll be free. It seemed that you said you want to change, not just casually. Adventure, Akane stood by the window. At a loss, even Yingjiakan is an uninvited guest. Connexia said to pass by and come here to have a look. I heard the big news. Dequiline doesn't think it's big news. Uriel is better suited to be the head of the family than herself. But Uriel didn't. By the blood of the Inlake family. Dequaile's face was confused when he heard it. What does that mean? There doesn't seem to be such a setting in the game. Kanesha also doubts. This is not Dequirine before. Entrust them to investigate. Dequirine said that even if there is no blood relationship, Uriel is still Uriel. Kanesha surprised Dequirine. Can you still say this? He also promised to keep it a secret. Before leaving, he also reminded 642 to start action. 642 is a well-known criminal gang. Each member is worth thousands of bounties. Those guys have their eyes on what's at your auction. I just don't know if what you bought will be safe. Delivered from the auction house to your feuding. The inner shelf of the card left a ball of paper and left. Dekui, Rain is not related to his sister Uriel. There's no need to know. Knowing doesn't change anything. Because Jinyujin is not Dequilai. For Jinyu Town, it doesn't matter if it's my sister or not, but Uriel was always Dequiline's sister. That's all you need to know. After Kane returned to his companion. Tell them that Professor Dequilles has changed a lot. Said a few words. The whole person is different. The little girl didn't expect either, and there's this side to Dequilles. Don't be wary of Dequilles at the moment. And that's a good thing. Kanesha is going back with the team members. Let everyone not take today. What you hear leaks out. And they formed a circle and disappeared. Magic Tower Academy the next day. In Dequirine's private office. The good news is that the system store is open. But the balance is insufficient, nothing to buy. Players can enhance their characters in the store. But so is the villain. Can be enhanced through stores. Players use the store very rarely. About 6 times. Each store can only buy once. Every level you go up. You need to buy it at twice the price. So this precious opportunity cannot be used casually. Dequirine does physical training every day. And fencing training. but still not enough to fight a powerful villain. Now, you need to accumulate currency by magic quality enhancement. And that's when his assistant, Alan, comes over. He handed the newspaper to D'Aquiline. It says there's a reward for Luke and Huck. They are early in the game, and the greatest threat to mid-wizards. If it is an ordinary magician, indeed a threat. But now the D'Aquiles are completely fearless. D'Aquiline told Alan not to worry about it. After that, he was going to the library. Ask Alan if he wants to be a professor before going out. Alan replied subconsciously, of course, because D'Aquiline has recently been taught election documents. Then he handed Alan a symbol, Klein's bracelet, and Alan thanked me excitedly. Because of Alan's outstanding ability, D'Aquiline can't let this kind of talent run away. The guys who couldn't stand the D'Aquiles ran away. Alan alone, I don't know when it will run. D'Aquiline throws out Yida money again. Let him buy something to eat. Alan couldn't believe the professor gave so much. Advanced support. The dedicated library. D'Aquiline, the paper I found last time has too many loopholes. He's going to make up a little bit of knowledge and refine it. A man was found in the dedicated library. D'Aquiline immediately asked the other party why he was here. And this is Sylvia. And he was shocked to see Professor D'Aquiline 10 minutes ago. And Sylvia is here, but was stopped by the staff. After contacting the auxiliary science professor with the correspondence book, just let Sylvia into the library. Sylvia's hobby is exploring literature and language. He's here too. Look for books that satisfy both of the above types. Since the genie disappeared, such novels are hard to find. So that's why he's here. He didn't know he was going to meet D'Aquiles here. When the other party meets, they question, why is Sylvia here? Do you want to be called to the disciplinary committee again? Sylvia explained that there are books you want here. Also got the body of the auxiliary science professor. D'Aquiline pointed out that if a professor flouts school rules, that professor should be punished too. Then he thought. Magic took the book from Sylvia's hands. D'Aquiline discovered. Sylvia has to come in for breaking school rules. The book I'm looking for is a love novel written in Elvish. Sylvia refutes. This is to understand language and literature. D'Aquiline returned the book to him and warned Sylvia not to come in again. If you come in and catch it, you must be punished. If not, to show off the family interpretation. Better send someone to solve it. He left after he finished speaking. Sylvia thinks it's humiliating herself. In a blink of an eye, how did D'Aquiles recognize Elvish? Because Elvish is so hard to understand. The outdoor internship course after this. Professors complain. The students came to the Dark Mountain full of energy. Dark Mountain is still some distance from Marta University. Here is to allow students to accumulate. A place of experience and cultivation. It is also a treasure trove of various magical materials. Of course, there are also many venomous and poisonous insects here, protected by martyrs on-duty professors and inspectors. Auxiliary science professor mentioned. The professor on duty for this week has not been determined yet. I would like to ask D'Aquiline's opinion. D'Aquiline had to agree. Auxiliary science professors praised it as a good example. The system prompts that the dungeon mission tower is dark. D'Aquiline, I also know that there is something in it that attracts me. This mountain can be terrifying at night. The students' outdoor classes also ended successfully. 9 hours passed since then. Get huge clothes. Invite the students to a feast. My classmates can't believe he's having a treat. The application for community creation has been successfully submitted. It should be fine soon. They also know some students went to the Dark Mountain. But accidents often happen in the Dark Mountain. A sharp scream came out. They all heard the voice. Ran over. Someone found out that it came from the Dark Mountain. Evelyn ran over first. Julia and the others behind noticed something was wrong. But he had come to a strange place. I was just in the coffee street in the city. Soon he heard a cry for help. A long-haired woman with no face appeared in front of my eyes. Evelyn also found something wrong. The woman suddenly started screaming. Evelyn thought she was attacked by someone. The ferocious D'Aquiline also came here. Evelyn asked her why she attacked ordinary people. Poor D'Aquiline showed him what it was. The woman just now has turned into a monster. De Quirine explained that it was a demon's illusion. Then used the power of thought to levitate Evelyn. Just threw him to the other side. Now start hunting demons. De Quille's nose. The devil didn't catch its prey. Exasperated. So he went all the way. Day Carol. Even if you pull a long distance, you will be caught up quickly. At this time, the puppet vaguely felt that something was wrong with its body. He judged that the demon was very good at illusions. But you can't use illusions during combat, because the blood in his body made him angry. Personality outline. Executing demons exudes a special bloodline. Can purify magic, or the quality of magic will improve after the devil is purified. But character will become grumpy. This is the lineage of the Arkline family revealed. Never let go of the devil in front of you. De Quille felt the wrath of the bloodline. When the devil comes charging again, kill by a single blow from De Quille's. Complete the dark currency of a magic tower, plus 1 additional compensation. Dealing with demon currency for the first time, plus 1 feature. Awakening by Klein. De Quirine cursed the demon. Sprayed him with filth before he died. The appearance of the devil sounded the beginning horn. The game without players has officially begun. After this, Evelyn only woke up when she regained consciousness. She only remembers being in the forest last night. The nurse sister just told Evelyn. Demons appeared in the Dark Mountains last night. You were deluded by the devil yesterday. Can't take the blow and faint? It was Chief Professor de Quirine who saved you. The appearance of demons causes damage to the Dark Mountain. Mojo Academy insiders are investigating. Evelyn couldn't figure out why it was Day Garral again. He learned from the nurse's sister. I've been unconscious for 36 hours. It's still Wednesday. Thinking of Evelyn who was late, he rushed out. Julia is also here waiting for him. When I went to visit the doctor before, and Evelyn wasn't awake. Evelyn noticed that the classroom layout was a bit different. De Quirine walked in with a stranger. Evelyn also wonders who this person is. Introduction to De Quillian. This is newly appointed teaching assistant Alan. Everyone talks. The previous professor had never used a teaching assistant. Evelyn thought of her father. If you can become a teaching assistant, you can pass the professor's review. You can accumulate performance before Professor de Quilline. Never do anything. Father was a researcher until he was 30. Failed to become a teaching assistant, can't figure it out. Quirine, why did you suddenly hire someone you had never met before? Teaching assistant. De Quirine announces physical and moral testing today. Solve today's topic within 3 hours. Teaching assistant Alan starts distributing props. Evelyn looked at the bracelet in her hand. Can't figure it out. What is a father to the De Quire baby? Why didn't you give him a chance? Make him so miserable. Just as Evelyn was distracted, Sylvia completed the kepi in 25 minutes. De Quirine glanced at it. All bluntly perfect. And told him he could get out of class early. Before leaving, he glanced at a distressed Evelyn. Sylvia also showed a confident expression. Evelyn gritted her teeth angrily and wanted to finish the project as soon as possible. The next 3 hours. The students all completed the project one after another and left the classroom. Evelyn knew it was over. I can't even compare to Sylvia. Until get out of class, he was the only one who didn't do anything. He doesn't know what's going on. Even suspect that you are a fool who has achieved nothing. Even after graduating from college. What about compensation? When Evelyn, who gave up the project, was about to leave. And De Quille says this. 5 hours 57 minutes. When do you want me to wait? Evelyn couldn't imagine why De Quilline hadn't left yet. De Quilline scolded him. Such a simple assignment can lose normalcy. Evelyn had to apologize. The enemy is laughing at you in front of you. The enemy is standing right in front of you. You also forget. You are so disappointing. You will never touch my toes in your life. De Quirine left these words before he left. Evelyn, I'm disappointed in you. I thought you were a precious jade. Evelyn was left alone in the classroom. Think of what De Quilline just said. Obviously stimulated. I gritted my teeth and started the project again. And he was convinced that he could do it. De Quille out there knows Evelyn. Strength is no problem, although it took more than 6 hours to complete. But it's a necessary training. Because of something that will happen in the future. Need to grow up in clothes. Since the demons appeared in the Dark Mountain. Main mission has started. When the age of evil comes, you need the characters that appear in the main quest. Evelyn was one of them. Although, now, he still lacks the spirit and the consciousness of a magician. De Quirine believes that Evelyn can not only overcome, it's going to grow. Although his growth poses a threat to himself. But de Quillay wouldn't let that happen. Plus the character of de Quillay. We will not tolerate students being expelled. After Evelyn left, I have to go in and check the topic at a loss. Result: Evelyn completed the project in 6 hours and 25 minutes. The evaluation of him is, inherited the old problem of non-college birth. But the result can be the first. Replica mission complete your way courtesy +1. When de Quirine was about to go back from get off work, he found someone waiting for him. Zatef von Holden. It's just Yuli. At the same time, it is also actively promoting Yuli and Dekui, one of the parties to Rain's marriage. And here's the thing. He's still the third most effective person in the early stage of the game. I can't figure out what such a character is doing to me. Is it because of Yuri's snowflakes? A new death variable has emerged. Dracline. There is absolutely no way to fight this monster. Just now, Yuri's brother Zate came over. He has also heard of the recent worries, rumors of a disagreement with de Quilly's. So I want to invite him over for dinner. The other party's friendly gesture. Let de Quilly fear the death variable. Have to promise, Zate has already chosen the restaurant. He's also committed to the person who is responsible to the end. The time for dinner was quickly confirmed. De Quirine has no right to refuse. Can't refuse, Zate. Put your family first. If it gets in the way of his plan, I wonder what he will do. Unicide soon. Zate is befriending him. Communicate about meeting with de Quirine? Yuri said they just quarreled with him. I'm busy training nights now and I don't have time to meet. Zate told him not to play with his temper. When he was full of blood, he was also there to make a weapon for you. Yuli's even more angry when she hears this. If you really want to make a weapon for yourself, then break off the marriage. And Zate was angry. Let Yuli think about it again. It's absurd to say that the engagement is broken. Didn't you say before that it was for the family's benefit? Can you give up your feelings? There is no one who loves you more than Lei Yin. Or do you already have someone you like? Uni answered no. That is the ability to care about the laws of thunder sound. Yuli said neither. I've made that very clear. Zach, Ike, just ask Yuri to attend at the agreed time. Yuli has absolutely no right to refuse. The angry Yuri had to swing his sword to vent his emotions. At this time, some people praise the main army for its powerful swordsmanship. He's Baloo of the Knights of Yuli. Yuri's apology made him see the ugly side. Bairong said he could understand the main army. That cruel and sinful man is not a good match for the main army. The person who forced the marriage. Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Yuli. Talking about others behind their backs does not qualify as discrimination. Not because of me. You have also lost the virtue of discrimination. Then Yuri left Oren. Knowing the troubles of the main army. To prove to the main army that the center. He is ready to act. This is also for the happiness of the main army. Arkline feuding. De Quirine, put the previous auction. The purchases were put in the safe. There was only one most important thing left to deal with. That's the snowflake stone. Because de Quirine was helpless for a short time. No snowflake stone. He's been fighting his magic. The price setting in the snowflake stone game is too high. There is no way to know how to use it. De Quilly's had seen it in books. The process by which the folk need to be tamed. This process is called sympathetic. Think of the de Quilly's here. Ready to try again. Delivered magic to the snowflake stone again. Consume 2000 mana. The understanding of snowflakes is only 0.1%. According to this time, it will take at least a year to fully understand. Can't find a better way? De Quirine is going to today's dinner. Calendar on the wall. There are 2 dates circled on it. Today is the appointed time with Zate. Is there another one in Jinyu Town? The circle drawn before crossing. It was the anniversary of his death 3 days later. After that, de Quillian went to the restaurant where he had an appointment. Zate said that the energy of viewers arrived first. After entering, I saw Yuli dressed up. This de Quilly's sound is heartbreaking. I can't see the armor I usually wear. No wonder the original D'Aquiles liked it so much. Zaid is talking to someone. D'Aquiles attracted to Yuri. I forgot that this person was here too. This is Yuri's sister, Josephine. Usain pretending to attend her sister's wedding. It's not easy. He's particularly close to the name D'Aquila. Josephine is a classic sociopath. His true identity is collected behind the mainland. Master of the intelligence shadow organization, still the strongest on par with Zayat. Josephine likes Yuri very much. So provoking Yuri is his hobby. Although I don't know why Josephine didn't kill D'Aquila. From entering the room, I felt the traces of his murderous aura. That is to say, Josephine is the death variable this time. D'Aquila can only make amends to Yulu. To escape. Chait, let's talk business before dinner. Engaged for 3 years. When did you hold the wedding ceremony? When Yuri heard this, he immediately yelled at the head of the family, but was immediately suppressed by Zayat. Josephine is also a posture of waiting and seeing. In order to survive. Just talk about confirming the relationship. Leave it to Uni to decide. If he doesn't want to get married, he can call it off at any time. Worried, gnashing teeth. Zayat, Jean, don't be casual. Talk about annulling the engagement. If the relationship is distant, just think about how to change relationships. The elders of the most crucial families would not agree. Yuri shouted to the master. He interrupted Zayat. He asked to speak to D'Aquila alone. So Zayat and Josephine went out first. Only D'Aquila and Yuli were left in the room. He asked D'Aquila what he wanted to do this time. What do you want? Thanks to thunder sound, I know you sigh. Finn was outside the door, listening to their conversation, because he's not the kind of person to give up. It just so happens that this is also an opportunity. Josephine didn't know how well Jin Yujin knew him. Make him believe that D'Aquiles is in love with Yuri. Maybe avoid the death variable. Yuri, what I just said is the truth. Josephine is indeed eavesdropping outside. Yuli thought D'Aquila couldn't be sincere. D'Aquila explained it. Yuli can't just break the engagement. After all, at this point, neither side can stop this. Worried and angry, knocking on the table and questioning D'Aquiles. You try to do things before you get engaged. Promise benefits to family elders. Even on the grounds that fighting is dangerous. When I gave up the knights. Joined the knights of the house in Lake. After being rejected, they spread rumors. Do you want to do this again? Jin Yujin knows these things. D'Aquila was persistent and crazy. He tried to destroy everything around Yuri. So Yuri hated him. D'Aquila calmly told Yuri. It has bound you before. I have made many mistakes. Won't do that again. Even so, Yuli is still unfortunate. Your brother and sister are just like me. Why did they stop you from breaking the engagement? Not just for family fame. If you want to be the ideal knight, should leave the family. Yuri didn't know what was going on. I figured out a way to know that I'm not worthy of you. Yuli urges the key points of the D'Aquila Sound Award. There is only one way to get you. That is to remain engaged, but not married. Although I want to let you go. But now that interests are intertwined, there is no way. You can also use this relationship as a shield. To make a dream come true, Yuri still thinks to Q. What bad idea is Layun playing? I don't want anything from you. Don't say what to expect. Just smile at me once a month. That's all I want. Yuri blushed at D'Aquila's words. Even the peeping Yusfin blushed. D'Aquila is to avoid the death variable. I just said these words, looking at such a flustered ghost. D'Aquila thinks he is very cute now. Now Kim Yujin has to admit. It was influenced by the D'Aquiles. Love for Yuli. Yuli representation of slowing down. Even if you say so, you won't be fooled. Josephine heard what D'Aquiles said. I'm going to let them go for a while. The system prompts the fate of the villain. Overcoming the death variable courtesy +2. 3 days later, Jinyu Town came to the original. D'Aquila marks the day of his death on the stand. This is a cemetery. New emotions are always born in places like cemeteries. The tombstones here reflect the sun. The sentence in his heart, the body melts here first. Because this is not the recollection of D'Aquiles. It is the memory of Jin Yujin. That was before the crossing. Stories that happen late at night. Liu Yola, the ex-girlfriend of the mid-level barn cloth, proposes. Add some game eggs. Add a game setting to Dequi Lane. That's just increasing the workload. I was going to work overtime. Don't add any extra burden. Liu Yola proposes to integrate the producer's love into the game. Jin Yujin really doesn't understand what he wants to do. Just let the team leader Liu Yola do whatever he wants. I'm not asking for my opinion anyway. Liu Yola explains that the idea is curious. I will never let everyone's busy work be in vain. Give Dequi Ranga a divorced unmarried wife. Liu Yola was especially excited to think of this setting. What kind of Easter egg did he set? To smile so brightly. Rotten in order to retrieve the memory of Jinyu Town. So he had to look around. I don't know if it's whimsical or just outrageous. Jinyu Town is here. Found a tombstone of Liu Yola. What I can't figure out is, why did Liu Yola engrave her name on the tombstone? The person who took Jinyu Town as the prototype was Decurayan. Liu Yola, who is also an ex-girlfriend, set ingredients to leave another fiancé dead. Why in the world? Jinyu Town touches the name on the tombstone. It is easy to trigger the feelings of the previous life. As if I heard Liu Yola whispering. Memories of the past rushed towards him. Liu Yola smiled shyly and praised. The original words of Jinyu Town. When I put on a coat for Jinyu Town in winter. When the dead end is silently supported. I didn't give up on him for 7 years. These are all memories of that woman. A man found Achilles here. Talking about this dirty magician. After crying, Jin Yujin also calmed down. It's also thanks to the characteristics of the Dequilet. A figure appeared in front of him. This man is Lukaku. The other party was also surprised that Decurain knew him. Of course Decurain knew. This person is in the middle of the game. The greatest threat to the magician. Because he has the exclusive skill mage effect. Decurain knew the power of this trait. It doesn't even require activation conditions. No physical contact is required. As long as it is within a certain range of Rukak's appearance. You can't use magic. Rukak went straight to the tube. Decurain dodged the attack. After several consecutive attacks were also avoided. Ordinary magicians face this situation. It's all gnashing of teeth. But the Dequili sound is different. He punched Rukak. The other party doesn't know what's going on. Magic failure doesn't work for me. Dequilin's big foot stepped on Rukak. This started 10 days ago. Save enough to make money of the Dequilin. Purchase magic quality enhancement. Greatly improve the efficiency of magic use. The same magic is stronger than before. System prompts magic adaptation. The reinforcement stage has been adapted. Dequilin is still getting ready for the next step in training. He just grabbed the railing. He just scratched a dent in the railing. Dequirine couldn't believe this scene. That is to say, the mass of the body has also been strengthened. Rukak was knocked down by Dequirine. The system prompts the fate of the villain. Overcome the death variable. Cursi +2. Sure enough, the quality enhancement of magic power also adapts to characteristics. I wanted to defeat Rukak with the Iron Man trait. But as the characteristics increase, easy win. Rukak. Still cursing the sorcerer of Dequiline molding. A bug who can do nothing without magic is ashamed. Knowing the characteristics of Rukak. From anger towards the magician. But this ability takes on a state of betrayal. Dequilis is ready to give Rukak another boost. Are you a red ghost? Here. Rukak's body trembled. Obviously broken. Chigui. Named for being wrapped in red membranes at birth. So it is called the serum of the devil by the world. They live incognito all over the mainland. They are the enemies of the magician. Magic was invented to execute demons. The conflict between the magician and the Red Ghost clan. It is also one of the core elements of this game. It is also one of the main quests of this game. The Red Ghouls, because of their bloodline. Lives can be threatened at any time. Someone's probably cleaning them up somewhere right now. Rukak, I understand the oppression you were going through. But you killed innocent magicians. Like a monster. Rukak, shut up Dequirin. Kill if you want. Don't talk nonsense. You are innocent to eat ghosts. At this moment, Rukak only felt that Deque. Ray is talking nonsense. I am Dequirin of Arkline. is without losing any taste. Nobles of noble blood. I don't lose my taste very often, only by facing the history of demons. Since ancient times, demon hunting tourists come to the Yin bloodline. If you find the history of demons, your blood will boil. It's an unquenchable instinct. But do you think I've lost my taste? Or was it shaken by your provocation? So, you're human. Rukak was stunned to hear that he was here. Tell him the truth, it's also a noble character. So you can take my word for it. And someone arrives at the scene. D'Aquila kicked Rukak unconscious. Now accept the arrest obediently. It was a nearby police officer. He's still complimenting D'Aquila's kick. Like shooting a poster, D'Aquila raised his hand and cast a spell. A white light gradually forms the physical landscape. I can't believe that magic can be so elegant. The ordinary way can't trap Rukak. D'Aquila will make specially made steel. The silk was handed over to the police officer. The officer has no idea how the prisoner escaped. The magic man's radar didn't detect it. D'Aquila also asked the officer, how did it come so fast? Then the officer explained that he had received a call. After the surgery, there was a man who was listening to this. But then D'Aquila left. Fortunately, this incident ended without blood. Because where there are traces of you, I don't want to hurt anyone. And the next day, received by Elik from Bet. A meeting held every 15 years. At this point, D'Aquila is still exercising. Sister Uriel, I personally delivered Bet's sheepskin surname. He also proudly expressed his meticulous care. Family is the responsibility of the head of the family. The sheepskin surname is roughly written. Demons have appeared in the Dark Mountain. So I invite you all to Bet. To discuss the incident, the system prompts the main task. Burke's call was a loss. For telling Uriel, you need two people to go together after a week. If Uriel thinks he needs an escort, you can call the driver at home together. He used to be a knight. D'Aquila explained, the last thing you need is a driver. Uriel felt that the guards were necessary. Otherwise, on the way to Bet, likely to die. Dehui Lei Yingshun, ask your sister if Uriel is worried about herself. Uriel proudly denied it again. I just don't want you to pass on the title of head of the family. Die in the afterlife. Uriel Zhong D'Aquila. Don't worry about the guards. He will be responsible for finding reliable people. A certain knight order. Destined Yuri is training knights here. The old knight next to him had a frown on his face. Because I received an important commission. I don't know if I should report. The sudden appearance of Perron of the Night Star told him. And then he started talking to Perron. This is about the commission to guard the D'Aquila. To be precise, it is to safeguard the safety of the entire train. Although Perron was very angry, but I still think I should take the commission. If you finish it, your reputation will be huge. It's good for revenue. Old, the knight is still worried about the captain and D'Aquila. Perron told him the captain wouldn't make sense. He must be able to distinguish the company. The enlightened old knight went straight to Yuri. Only a gloomy back basket was left. Beckett Conference. It is to summon all the magicians in the mainland to ask for opinions. Not just a magic tower. The magician who receives the letter will go too. Burke's influence is the pinnacle of the entire wizarding world. Hold a meeting every 10 years. It's really rare for people to be able to attend the meeting. They are all famous families from all over the world. Beck's gathering is also known as the Sorcerer's Tomb. At this time, the Beck platform is excellent. Knights are ranging escorts. They're just waiting for their target to arrive. Moments later, here comes D'Aquila in a suit and leather shoes. But he also found something wrong. The guards entrusted turned out to be the Knights of Yuri. He was blushing and promising D'Aquila. We will do our best to keep everyone safe. D'Aquila still doesn't understand what's going on. Yuri thought of what D'Aquila said before. Smile at him once a month. He really didn't know what to do with his red face. Should I laugh? How to laugh? Laugh casually or how to laugh? The old knights thought the captain was too respectable. Hate each other so much and try to adapt. When the old knight prepares to square the playing field, Perron also came forward to say hello. Introduce him as the guard this time. The old knight reassured Professor D'Aquila. This kid is the strongest in the knights. D'Aquila discovers Perron. The hand is placed on the hilt of the sword, just in case. He activated the naked eye to confirm the information. Still not from Perron. What special smell do you see on your body? Wei Long also took the initiative to follow De Quills to the carriage. At this time, Yuri also bid farewell to De Quailian, ready to leave, halfway or back. She forced out a smile. Old Seven doesn't know what's going on. See De Quirine here. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Turns out he was trying to keep the promise. A few hours later, De Quirine's train has landed. Continue to come. He told Perron to take a break. Burke's convocation. It's called the Sorcerer's Tomb for a reason. Because every time a meeting is called, there are emergencies. That's the train attack. In order not to be surprised, it is necessary to choose a safe train. Want to ensure 100% selection of safe trains? Need to buy intelligence through contacts in the dark. The duck whale sound of the original body will definitely be poisoned, but now De Quirine wants to implement this plan. Too reluctant, because Jinyu Town after crossing. Lost all the connections in the dark. So De Quirine was ready before he came. For example, reading martial art secrets of fighters. Assistant Alan slept soundly. Mostly because I was too excited to sleep before I came. A shame thunder sound a few days ago. Ask Alan if he wants to go to Burke when called. Alan thanked De Quirine in tears. He knew the danger was coming. It shows that he is more ambitious than imagined. After this platform, the next platform is Becht. Nothing much has happened so far. Thanks to the loss, I doubt whether there was an attack or not. Before leaving, he wore his famous defensive clothing. He also strengthened his defense with the Hand of Midas. Also put the Maidwood Steel. Deployed to the carriage. Reinforced defenses. I also prepared defensive clothing for Alan. De Quirine had a confused look on his face. Recently, I've used the Hand of Midas frequently. There's not much magic left. It is necessary to take defensive measures. Of course, nothing happened at all. It would be nice if it could be reached safely and immeasurably when the train is moving. Just a boom. A certain train was directly blown up. A few days before De Quirine's departure, Sylvia was still reading a bit early on the train. The father wondered if there was a lot of homework. Because I have accumulated several days of courses, Sylvia wasn't worried about Evelyn growing up. I'd rather listen to the De Quillies. Sylvia doesn't understand. Why is Dad going to the het so early? It can be a few days later. Here. Gilpin was lost in thought. He asked if Sylvia had heard of Becht. The path leads to the tomb of the sorcerer. Sylvia thought it was a rumor. Gilpin told him. Every time Burke summoned, people died. 15 years ago, 1 billion people lost their names. Started a long time ago. Burke will only issue a summoning play on the inscription. The 20 families selected to participate will go down in history. Failure to attend will result in permanent removal. It is said that there are also new families, the rule of filling vacancies. That filters out new families. What's the simplest way? A family that wants to become a famous family. It will be based on the existing magic family. Sweep hole one step deeper to avoid being attacked by them. Can't Sylvia solve this problem? Gilpin. Point to explain to him the cruelty of the world. The traditional 12 magic families. Nobody founded it. It's one of them. If you have to solve this, will become the enemy of other demon Dao families. Due to death on the way to the conference. Same as natural death in the wizarding world. A few days later, there is only a boom on this side of the De Quille train. Train explosion. Perron also heard the voice. De Quire, who heard the voice, was expressionless. Frowning, he responded quickly. Just a boom. Alan was also awakened by the explosion. Day Carol. A hole was blown in the carriage. Alan also let De Quirine see the big thing. The train is actually floating in the air. De Quirine Chinking's previous efforts were not in vain. Learning completed primary mindfulness. Other preparations have also been made. The attackers all complained, just because he's Professor De Quirine. Do you have to deal with the whole train? The leader told them not to complain. There is a great reward for completing this task. The attacker arrived in the carriage just now. Exploded whole. De Quirine is still berating these unreasonable guys. Someone has already rushed in front of De Quirine. All this has long been expected by him. Several rounds ran the attacker through. What should I do if Alan is yelling here? De Quirine takes its chances with a hand knife. Perron just came here too. Loss of thunder sound. Let him take Alan to a safe place. Evacuate other passengers by the way. Perron jumped off the train with Alan without hesitation. Look at the backs of them leaving. When De Quirine heard Jean Allen just now. It feels too soft. Like I thought of something. Ready to get things done and think about it. De Quirine, to settle this group of attackers who caused the dispute. Your lives will be lost here. Perron has taken Alan to safety. He looked meaningfully above the train. Soon after, the attacker on the train was arrested by De Quirine. Proscription resolution. He also went limp thinking. In order to reduce the explosion, he continued to consume magic power. The magic power has completely bottomed out. At this point, Perron came here. He told De Quirine that the passengers had been safely evacuated. De Quirine, who proposed to leave, found something wrong with the other party. The eyes of Perron in front of him are different from those just now. I was panicked because of the attack just now. This person is completely calm. What happens in the next scene surprises De Quirine. Perron radiated a red light. De Quirine discovered that this was the fate of the villain. The other party hid the characteristics at first. Let him take it lightly. Perron drew his sword. Fortunately, you survived. Your life must be known to me personally. It's a loss to Lei Yin to ask who ordered it. Isn't it Yo? Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by the dragon. I don't want to hear the name of the Lord from your mouth. The Lord is not such a person either. Please don't speculate at will. I must kill you for the sake of the main army. Quillian really doesn't seem to have anything to do with worrying. The old knight said before. Perron is the strongest of the knights. De Quille's knows. Only left. It is impossible for the stone-grinding force to defeat the opponent. The dragon ship rushed over. There is only one way for the De Quille's eagle right now. He revoked the whole reading magic that underpinned the train. The whole train just fell off. The other side of this moment. Sylvia's ride. The doctor also asked him if he wanted ice cream, but he was sick of it. I also learned it from the knights. The Arkline and Lee Wonder families didn't come. Hearing Sylvia here sighed. In fact, I thought he was waiting for someone. One person Sylvia also read a sentence. Day Carol. Sylvia went to the cemetery one day to see her dead mother. When his daughter would complain to her mother that Professor de Quille is a bad guy. I often assign a lot of homework and don't write without listening to the class. Then Sylvia heard a voice. He looked in the direction of the sound. Spotted a shocking scene, he glanced at. And I recognized it as de Quille. In front of someone's tombstone. Sylvia thought people like him wouldn't be Burmese. When de Quille in the waithful got up, he also discovered de Quirine. Tears still on my face. This shocked Sylvia. He's usually cold and aggressive. I actually shed tears. I thought I was just a nasty professor. The scene of him crying always appeared before his eyes. Sylvia at this time, remembering what my father said. A group of people will attack like trains. So he was concerned about that. Sylvia, who listened to the de Quire lessons. I've been trying a magic trick. He started experimenting with the medium of the pattern. Of the three attributes of magic. The origin is rooted in the magician. Sylvia's magic by red and green. Cyan 3-color composition, he began to shape the image through the medium of the pattern. After a dazzling tricolor light came out. This is Sylvia. The product created by the three primary colors. They named him Asuka. Then the magic was injected into his body. Let the bird replace itself. Go see what he wants to see. At this time, de Quille sighed. The train is hanging halfway up the mountain. Didn't fall to the bottom. Broken a few bones. Although it can be restored by Iron Man characteristics, but the danger is near. The dragon has already rushed over. Looks like he wasn't hurt at all. De Quirine immediately sent out a spell. Stabbed Perron, but nothing happened, because it was blocked by protective magic. Seeing Perron rush over again. De Gerain is barely controlled by psychic power. The crystalline stone around you resists, but this kind of thing can't stop him at all. Perron is too strong now. Even at his peak, de Quirine. You can't beat him. Even so, I'm not ready to give up. Because de Quirine has properties. Ninja yielding spirit. The power will be maintained until the end of the battle. Liver and kidney magic won't work either. Perron believes that de Quirine could never stop his attack. But de Quirine pulled back the distance. When crystallizing, it was also chopped by the dragon's sword. At this point, de Quirine was helpless. Is it game over if you are killed now? It was as if nothing had happened. Will you be in the office again when you wake up? Sylvia's bird also flew over. When he saw Perron's sword about to strike de Quirine, there was a sizzling sound in de Quirine's ear. The surrounding space was suddenly distorted. Perron's wrist with the sword passed by something invisible. Neither of them responded. Perron's palm has been cut off and flown out. The pain made him growl. De Quirine doesn't know what's going on. But I know the opportunity has come. Use the remaining magic to activate the power of thought. Stabbed Perron in the leg. Untenable bay. Long fell directly outside the train. Perron, who was about to fall off the cliff, took out his knife. Stabbed in the inner wall of the train, hanging on the edge of the cliff like this. And de Quirine comes up. Looking at Perron hanging on the edge of the cliff, he asked de Quirine what he had just done. But it's a loss because I don't know what's going on. Ask Perron why he's so hostile to him. There should be no conflict between the two. If you have to say why, that's what you did to the main army. De Quirine doesn't understand. Bad has said again that for Yuli, it is not the history of Yuli. What is Yuli to you? Perron confessed. De Quirine, you will never understand this feeling. One day many years ago, you were in a noble house. Help the lady catch a teenager. It's the other party's fault that the teenager keeps yelling. The lady pointed out. The boy came in over the wall and injured his son. The worrying of finding this immediately confirm whether it is true. A wall that high can be turned over. It shows that his physical fitness is not simple. Yuli promises to the lady to hand over the teenager to the police station. All the way, the boy kept asking Yuri to let him go. Yuri also knew that the noblewoman's family was misbehaving. It's well known. But it's wrong for you to hit people. After that, Yuri asked the boy if he wanted to follow. I will teach you how to deal with a crisis. The teenager only asks if he will be eaten. That was the first time Perron and Yuri met. Afterwards, he also became a member of the Knights. But for personality and identity reasons, can't fit into the Knights? Only one person cares about him at this time. That's what the head of the team is worried about. He thought it would be fine as long as he could stay by the captain's side. The captain is always standing in front of him. Always helping others. Always fighting against evil. Perron respects such a master army. At the same time, the heart of love is also growing stronger. Certainly, he also knew that his love was a problem for the main army. So I'm going to kill de Quirine. Because you're always torturing the protagonist. De Quirine also knows that this is all about the body. The devil of the master. But now you're wrong to think so. Kim Woo-jin will change the evil that de Quirine has done. This time, the de Quirine ending is not going to collapse. De Quirine reached out to Perron and promised him that he would never hurt the ghost. But Perron wasn't lying. De Quirine also found something wrong. The fate of the villain didn't change, it got worse. De Quirine is very angry. You seem unrepentant. Varen also said it would not change. The idea of killing de Quirine. Pick up the crystallization of de Quirine. Curse Perron for being stupid and ignorant with today's selfish choices. It will torture Yuri for a lifetime. De Quirine took the crystal stone and threw it at Perron. Yuri on the other side also gave a chill. The old knight still wonders what he said about Perron. Please don't worry. That kid has grown up. Perron, who fell off a cliff, is hospitalized. His protagonist lives a peaceful and happy life. Just now, this created bird hovering above the train. Sylvia saw what happened through him. De Quilles killed his guard knight. To be precise, it was the knight of the guards who wanted to kill de Quirine. He killed the opponent in self-defense. Then the knights of the Sylvia family found him. Remind him that the meeting is about to begin. Sylvia doesn't know if de Quirine will come. Due to a train accident, Deputy Sheriff Lilia arrived at the scene. The police officer explained, because Bert called a meeting. This kind of thing happens often. So far, no casualties have been found at the scene. But de Quirine and his assistant Alan, in a coma. After that, I interviewed passers-by on the same train in detail. Learned that a certain knight had saved them. The train suddenly hovered in the air. Someone even took out the photo they just took. Lilia suspects that someone has protected the train with magic. He couldn't figure out what was going on. Someone used magic to transmit his voice. The knight is fused to death. He didn't know why. To kill Professor de Quilly's hawk. But in the end, Professor de Quilly survived. Lilia looked at. I can't find who is passing the eagle. At this time, there is a person behind the eagle and the eagle leaves. And it was Professor de Quilly. He remembers, if it wasn't that group at that time. Strange spatial noise. I may not even be able to defeat an ordinary knight. To be precise, if someone doesn't help. The person who fell off the cliff must be himself. At the loss of Lei Yin, I didn't expect myself to be so powerless. I can't figure out who saved me. That's when Deputy Director Lilia found de Quilly. Want to make a record? De Quilly learned from him. Now go to 3:30. That is to say, the Birch meeting is in 6 hours. Lilia would like to ask de Quilly a few questions. How many people are there with the eagle? The other party asked him, is this the only train to go to Bet? Lilia endured her anger and explained, there are deer and sea deer next to it. Then he asked again how many people were with de Quilly. Turns out de Quilly's isn't there. The police officer next to him told him de Quilly has used acceleration magic. It's a pity that Lilia can't imagine. Day Carol. First used magic to deal with the killer and Bailey. Now it's leaving with acceleration magic. How powerful is his magic? This is what Rukhak was talking about. The Burt conference in the near future. It's almost 10 p.m. The meeting is about to begin. De Quilly still hasn't come. A voice came out before the meeting. With great respect to all who have come. There's a powerful force sweeping through this room. Sylvia both lamented. That is the great elder of Bet, Stank. That's the closest thing to a great magician. In fact, he's getting close to the legend. Sylvia can't even imagine. People at this level have rivals. The meeting will begin after the roll call. Gilwin of House Alade. Assons of House Pullen. Betten Lever of the Bulun family. A Helm of the Ying family. Here's what happens next. De Quirrell of the Arkline family. The person named also found out that de Quilly was not there. He still said the rules of the meeting. Roll call 3 times if it hasn't arrived yet. It will be regarded as May coming to the meeting. At the same time, I went to the Magic family identity and everyone was surprised. I go to tourists. The Rhine family was the leader for 200 years. Wait for big things. Some people think the current head of the family, de Quilly, is too bad. And this is well known. Sylvia doesn't even know how de Quilly got there. No one around worried about him. But Sylvia still cares about the de Quillys. With the second roll call of tourists, Lei. The de Quillys of the Yin family. Name you for the last time. De Quilly of the Klein family. After that, de Quirain was still Merlin. Are ready to erase the Arkline family history. The door of the conference room was pushed open. Then Sylvia turned around. He made it to the Birch meeting room. De Quirain came here in a hurry. He first took his time and patted the dust. Stroked the handsome hairstyle again. This stunned Sylvia. Finally into the conference room. Tourists come because the owner comes by appointment. The discussion after the meeting was very intense. The first thing to discuss. It's the demon that appeared in the Dark Mountain. As sons of the Pullen family proposed. Promulgation system restricts demons. Let a school order cooperation with the church. Sending magicians to suspicious places is more effective. No family disagreed with his opinion. So the meeting went pretty well. And then the moderator announced a break. De Quirain is really tired. To get here, he uses acceleration magic to keep running. Now there is not much magic and stamina left. Even so, there is still an unstable one who participated in the meeting. The character of de Quirain is truly remarkable. Just walked out of the conference room. Assistant Alan asked the professor how he was doing with concern. He apologized for being late. Because they're not allowed in the middle of the meeting. De Quirain says it's okay. The meeting resumed after the break. And then came the most sensitive topic of the day. And Alan was sitting next to de Quilly's. That's the attitude about how to eat ghosts. It can be like what just happened. Stab me smoothly. Betten of the Bayolan family thinks it's a ghost. They're like cockroaches. Lay eggs out of sight. Cannibalize human society? Sons of the Pulin family asked him what his basis was. Is there a way to distinguish between humans and red tracks? Betten is going to eradicate the red rail. And like the magic tower of the empire, assist. Sons, who disagreed, quarreled with him. De Quirine knew they were too far apart. Can't discuss the result. Betten emphasizes again. The ghost rebels are now united. There must be an organizer. Mostly a conspiracy. Tyson's counters that this is speculation. There is no basis for saying such a thing. It eroded them 60 years ago. That's why so many magicians died tragically. The atmosphere of the meeting suddenly became strange. Gilpin of House Alade breaks the deadlock. He asked de Quirine what he thought. After all, the Inlet family. It has been a pioneer since ancient times. The island of Dequi thunder sound as modern man. Extreme hatred necessarily leads to misfortune. It is absolutely not wise to suppress the red ghouls now. Even if you can't stop this. For the mainline mission. Also delay the development of this world. Because the common enemy of the world. Not red ghosts. De Quirine told the crowd. The previous enemies were indeed ghost eaters. Careful analysis of the literature revealed that it was all a misunderstanding. The Witch of Rodlund 257 years ago. In the event, the accused Witch Lord Lund is actually innocent. But someone took that as an opportunity. Suppress the red ghouls. The more they fought back, the more serious the incident. The incident 60 years ago has been mentioned. It's the same story. Because humans live in the places where the red ghosts live. The pattern mine was discovered. Biden pointed out, you were the ones who killed the most red ghosts 60 years ago. Tourist Rhine family. The red ghouls have the evil of the devil. Tourists who execute demons should know best. But thanks to Lei Yin's emphasis on the tradition of invitees, is to kill the devil, not red ghosts. Betten also insists that red rail is the devil. The meeting scene once again fell into the shame of the general. Lane questions Betten. Can you take responsibility for what you said? Don't just think of humans as demons. Anyone who says that, probably the devil himself. No conclusion was reached until the end of the meeting. The case was postponed to the next day. Because the day is not over. The Beckett meeting is here for one night. Gilpin asked her daughter, is it okay for Sylvia to live alone? Sylvia says, didn't you live alone all the time? Even so, as a father, Gilpin is still worried. Finally, don't forget to remind Sylvia. Beckett's magic concentration is very high. Strange thoughts may occur at night. Remember to abide by hotel rules. Glanced at. Hotel rules of Sylvia are complained. Too many rules. Just go to bed earlier. After he falls asleep in the middle of the night, the sizzling sound from the side woke him up. Thirsty Sylvia gets up and takes a sip of water. I realized that something wasn't right around me. A purple aura filled him. Sylvia doesn't know what's going on yet. He hurried to check the manual. Did you do something wrong? Now, Sylvia was very nervous. Just arrived. Sylvia when checking hotel rules. I found that there is a rule that please lie flat in bed and restrain yourself until morning. Otherwise, it will conform to other spaces. Because he just got up to drink water and triggered the rules. It's out in the hallway now. I stayed at No till a few days ago. This didn't happen in the museum. He guessed. The place where I live today is too far from where the elders live. Near Sylvia. I thought I wouldn't have a house. No big problem. Now I can only calm myself down. But the eerie atmosphere in the back made him creepy. It even feels like something is coming. He was running around the hotel. Rule to room hotel no stairs. I found that the stairs can't go upstairs either. Rule number 3, even if the hallway door is open, you definitely can't go in. At this point, Sylvia had no other choice. He knocked on the door of a room. If you hear someone knocking on the door, please don't answer. Can't make any response? That thing is caught up. Sylvia's still banging on the door. Now I just hope someone can save me. At the last minute, someone opened the door. It was de Quirine who opened the door. Are you lost? Sylvia. At this moment, he seemed to have met a saviour. Then de Quirine called him into the room. He also explained to de Quirine to get up and drink water. I found myself leaving the room. De Quirine reminded him that he should follow the rules carefully. Because something will happen in Becht. Strange magic phenomenon. It is said that there will also be ghosts with powerful magic. As always, unwavering eyes. Because he's a Dequilette. Can you just open the door? Sylvia noticed a noise coming from outside the door. There is a liquid. Something slipped in along the door. A powerful spirit rushed in. Dequirine warned him not to move. Squeeze. Something like the wind flew past Sylvia. They stabbed the ghost. Just smash the ghost and gradually disappear. Sylvia also found out that this is whole reading magic. I can't help but praise the professor for being amazing. He actually used him to kill ghosts. Loss of thunder sound explanation. It's not magic to show off. And magic wasn't created to kill. Sylvia's face turned red. He also exhibited a fire spell. And Dequilline complimented him on what he did. And then we did a couple more spells. But Dequirine didn't even look. They all praised him for doing a good job. This makes Sylvia a little unhappy. So he decided to do it wrong on purpose. Dequilline pointed out that this magic is not bad though. But the magic circle is still a little unstable. So he asked himself what his weakness was. Dequilline told him, "You need to think about this slowly." Sylvia pointed out that, "Didn't you teach Evelyn before?" Gui Lei Yin explained that he learned it himself. Sylvia was speechless. "Sylvia, don't be too hasty. You still have time. As long as you work hard, you will continue to grow. You just have to take it one step at a time. Because you have one of the greatest talents in the world." Sylvia listens to compliments from others. I have heard it countless times, even tired of hearing so much. But what I heard from the voice of Dequiri, that's the difference. And after that, Sylvia goes to sleep. Dequilline is still reading. He noticed a flash of golden light next to him. This golden light is getting brighter and brighter. So he walked near the light. It's the scent of the super rich. Because this time Bert called a meeting. Maybe you can get some rare items here. This is a phantom charging towards the Dequili's eagles. But he didn't respond. This ghost can handle it. Subsequently, the ghost is flying around again next to Dequirail. Attempted. But Dequili's was unwavering. I saw him suddenly stop. Asked the ghost again. Have you ever seen a magic bag nearby? Rap props. This scares the ghost. He ran away crying. Dequirine still can't figure out what's wrong with him. But he soon discovered a good thing. Dequirine pick up. Glittering treasure. The system also prompted that the evolved target had been obtained. This time, I came out and picked up something good. Ginny Town crossing the city. After the Dequilis, they kept practicing and studying. But this body is too mediocre. Often encounter obstacles. If you make a magic staff out of this wood, maybe a lot of power. The screen changes. The Bert room at this time. It began anew in a more passionate atmosphere. The meeting was blocked. There are demons flowing in the blood of the red ghouls. I think that's a fact. That's why they're called demons. Dequilline retorts that if salt is added to a glass of water, can he be called salt? An intense mouthful between Dequilline and Betten. Let the many demons in the conference room. The family is in fear. Gilwyn can't ring. Dequirine will protect the Red Kingdom. I thought he would actively stand to clean up. Gee guo. But the truth was unexpected. Dequilline is probably up to something. What the hell are you thinking? Sylvia understands that everyone is just like Dad. They all think that Professor Dequilline is up to something. That's why they protect ghosts. But they were wrong. Professor Dequilline is simply stating the facts. The moderator of the meeting couldn't listen anymore. I scolded the two of them, and there will be no result if they quarrel like this. About the ghost case. We'll discuss it at the next meeting. Let's move on to the next case. The case after the derailment moved very quickly. And it went on for days. The backup meeting was dropped. Angry back blanket hits Dequilline's shoulder. Leave in a huff. Dequillion is also for the main storyline mission. To work so hard, I will make enemies with more people in the future. Berg store the next day. Before he plans to leave Bergt. Do the handbook here? Still hesitating to use plum gold wood. What auxiliary material should be selected for the handbook made? This is Alan calling Dequillis. He said he found his benefactor. Thanks to that benefactor, we got here safely. Luckily, Lei Yin also recognized that person. Isn't that Deputy Sheriff Lilia? De Quilling decided. Invite Deputy Commissioner Lilia to dinner. To repay him for bringing Alan here safely. Lilia's courteous thanks to Professor de Quilling. Although this is said at the dinner table. A little embarrassed. But the duty is to investigate. The guard knight with you was attacked by the dragon. How did he die from the attack? Laws of Thunder sound short explanation. Then the three began to eat. Lilia always felt something was different. The sheriff's department not long ago. He's interrogating Lukaku of the Red Ghouls. You will be incarcerated in what has been called the worst prison. After all, so many innocent magicians have been killed. It's normal to end up like this. Does it make sense? But Lukaku kept his mouth shut. Lilia asked him to use his ability directly. Lukaku smiled. Still activated the ability. A black aura filled the air. An eyeball appears above. As if aiming at the two of them at any time. Lilia knocks on the table. Angry questioning Lukaku. I clearly said don't act rashly. Why do things that harm the Japanese people? Lukaku just chuckled. I was going to kill you. If it is found that you are a member of the Red Ghouls. Suppressing the public opinion of the Red Ghost will prevail. Lukaku thinks that even if we do that, Red Ghouls can't stay in the Empire either. Lilia retorted as long as it wasn't exposed. After all, the Red Ghost is only born at the moment. Unlike ordinary people, Lukaku thinks Red Ghost has demonic talents. Ordinary humans are afraid of this. Lilia asked him why he had moved to Quare. Because someone has been arranged to spy on the Arkline family. Lukaku thought it was to kill you. Klein Lilia said it's just a wait and see for now. If he continues to do so, can't kill Lukaku. Tell him not to be like this. De Quilling is a true aristocrat. No need to kill him. Listening to Lilis all think Lukaku is stupid. What true nobility? Just the collection of evidence of De Quillies. There is a basket. Lukaku mentioned what De Query should have said. It's a ghost, not a demon, but a human. Just like him. His eyes are without a doubt. We'll look in the right place. If only there were more expensive ones like him in the world. We can also fit into this world. Ordinary life? He knew I was a red ghost, but he didn't kill me. Lilia asked him if he knew. Klein's ancestors were slaughtered and suppressed. Pioneer of Akogi. Lukaku refutes. But if he has the blood of his ancestors on him, think of him as someone like his ancestors. That doesn't mean admit that we are like the devil they say. He asked Lilia, the deputy director, how long can you do it without being detected? And Lilia thought, of course, that's a lifetime. After all, it is not yet possible to pass the appearance and blood to distinguish. Suffering Lukaku reminded him. There are certain foods that the Japanese cannot eat. Lilia said as long as you don't eat it. The emperor's situation is very bad. There will be a new king soon. Commission for discipline inspection and see what the other party's attitude will be. The Japanese won't do anything until then. So, Lukaku, you just stay in jail. Dinner with De Quilling. Lilia, I don't think De Quillies is a real aristocrat. Just a very rude guy. It was a figure walking this way. Lilia smelled the smell of alcohol. De Quilling asked the other party. What do you have to do with yourself? I have nothing to tell you. The person who came, it is the character created by Jin Wu Jin in his previous life. Iklam. He expressed that. I want to hear something from De Quilly. At this moment, the Knights of Fly High on the other side. Yuri also got some news. He still doesn't believe this fact. Perron died on the mission to guard De Quilling. Yuri ordered the old knight to prepare immediately. To hear how De Quilling explains. Just now, Ihelm found De Quilling. Lilia couldn't figure it out either. What is this person doing here? Said the drunken Ihelm. Your actions during the meeting were unexpected. Completely incomprehensible. Why De Quilling? Why do you want to see the privacy of other magic families? Why cover up the ghost eaters? Hear the sound of De Quilling covering up the ghost. Lilia was surprised. Didn't you ever want to kill ghost eaters? Said they didn't deserve it. The inferior lord who lives on the ground. He even wrote a paper condemning the red track. Is he still in college now? Or are you going to replace slaves with red rails? Conduct research. Alan next to him scolded each other for being too much. De Quirine wiped his mouth to indicate that it was okay. It's not surprising for a rotten brain trash to think so. Because he doesn't understand. Hearing that a helm was instantly numb. But still endured. I heard that your research is still 6 months away from publication. Still 3 months. Just let me see your despicable courage. How long can you hide it? And then he left. Lilia can't figure it out. De Quirine is constantly fighting against the Moto family. Also cover up ghosts. Is he really that De Quirine? I can't believe what Lukaku said is true. Before De Quirine left Bert. Went to meet one of the most famous craftsmen. He was specially commissioned to make the handbook. Fulfill the mission Locklu's handbook. Complete the first condition and gain enough reputation. Or the devil. The second condition is a good person with a good heart. Or reformed people. The third condition is able to cause Lock Road, the most advanced material of interest. The fourth condition is to visit his store. Shop more than twice. Complete side quest store currency +1. Rock Road is a very famous craftsman. Since the previous De Quirine had visited him. So this time, he came. The side mission is directly completed. On the train back to the Empire. Very accidentally sat in the same section as Betten. Carriage. Betten made no attempt to disguise himself along the way. Fortunately, there was no major conflict. The long journey is finally coming to an end. Change again and you can go back for the last time. Alan also lamented. Finally, we can see something other than the snow. As soon as I got off the train, I met you. De Quirine doesn't know how to face him either. I heard you were attacked. It's great to be a teacher. As soon as De Quirine understood, he must have heard the news about Perron. Although I don't know if this is being rumoured. What has become? The people who stood next to the knights are still talking. How? Only this damn guy came back alive. It is clear that they are interested in De Quirine. I'm not happy with the news that I'm still alive. Yuri talked about seeing it on the news. To save more survivors. You were working hard with him. A little choked up anxiety. Keep talking about what happened to that guy in the end. De Quirine really didn't know how to speak. I was going to tell him everything. Perron wants to kill himself. At least that's what I plan to tell Yuri. But in the face of this, he really can't open it. If the mouth tells the truth. The truth is too cruel for Yuri. The faith in worrying is unwavering. But the heart is not strong enough. The worries I understand today. That's the personality. Worrying about hearing the truth will surely blame yourself. The unspeakable fault is your own fault. May feel pain. For the growth of worrying. Hiding the truth is the right choice. Even if it is hated by some people. Then the conductor reminded the fourth train. Passengers with tickets, please board immediately. Thanks to rain, he just said Perron. He's an emotional guy. Hearing this, the worrying was silent for a while. After that, Yuri said goodbye to De Quirine. Then he was going to see his back stairs. De Quirine looked at the back of Yuri leaving. Talk about emotion. I'm no different. Even the De Quirines from the past. There is no way to stay. Alan talks about those guys going too far. We are also victims of accidents. Those guys' eyes are too unfriendly. De Quirine told him not to pay too much attention. After all, they're just a bunch of idiots. A voice inquiry. Asked De Quirine why he's suppressing himself. It was Sylvia who said that. De Quirine doesn't understand what he means. Sylvia was still rummaging through something in her backpack. Then he took out a book and handed it to De Quirine. This is repayment. Then he ran away. Alan also asked what it was. I don't know what it is. After all this, he just wants to go home and rest quickly.